Virgo, what's going on, everybody? It's Am from CancerMoonsTarot, and I'm coming at you with your November 2022 tarot reading. How are you? I hope y'all are well. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on into today's video, and we shall see what is up for the Virgo gang. What do we got going on, baby? What information do we got showing up here, please, for the zodiac signs of Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus regarding here November 2022? What information is going to be in store here, please, for the zodiac sign of Virgo? Let's go ahead and have ourselves a look. Starting out here with the overall energy for you, we do start out here with the Hierophant. So, Hierophant card coming into play here for you. You could be connecting potentially here with a Taurus for some of you. Hierophant card typically represents the energy of some sort of commitment. It could represent devotion. It could represent the status quo. So, I definitely feel here for many of you, I'm hearing doing things by the book is where you've been at. It's almost like you are scheduling or keeping a good schedule, or you're on some sort of schedule here that's been helping you out a lot. So that's a pretty interesting way that I'm intuitively picking up on it. So I feel like the Hierophant's representing here for your month in November. You're sticking to some sort of schedule. You're really maintaining something here is what I'm personally feeling. Having a look into your current situation, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Three of Cups, nice. And lastly for you, we got the Four of Cups. Okay, 2, 3, 4. That's a lineup for sure. So that was not intended. So that's pretty cool to see that come out here for you. So we see the 2, the 3, the 4. With this being your current situation, it kind of feels to me that the more you've been sticking to a schedule, the more elevated and the more positive and the more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not elevated essentially, but it's kind of like the better things have gotten is what I'm feeling here for you. Excuse me. Thank you very much. So the more you stuck to some sort of schedule, the better things have gotten, I guess is the way that I want to put it. So Two of Cups here to the Three of Cups, right? The moment you commit to something, which is similar to what the Hierophant talks about, the moment you commit to something, the more of a investment you make, the more happier you're becoming. But it requires you having to push something out here this month, because the Four of Cups is that energy of having to ignore something. More than likely, whatever it is you're ignoring could be something that was negatively impacting you, such as a bad habit, possibly negative people, toxic individuals, bad environments, bad situations. So I feel like you have finally removed yourself from a situation here that definitely was negatively impacting you, and you've seen nothing but growth moving forward in November because of this. So your November is going to be very positive because there's something here getting cut out that you very much so needed to cut out. So for some of you, it could be a bad habit. It could be a really toxic person. It could be a toxic living situation, working environment, whatever the case is here for you. Whatever bad thing you're cutting out, it's going to grow you much closer to the good things you have in your life, and it's going to allow you to enjoy your life and enjoy what it is you're doing, so long as you keep sticking to your schedule and whatever kind of regimen you guys are performing here this month. So I feel like as long as you continue to stay on par with what it is you need to do, the results are going to be positive. The results are going to be great. All right. Let's see how you're going to deal with your current situation. We have here the Four of Swords, we have the Three of Swords, and lastly for you, we do have here the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so by avoiding whatever's painful, by avoiding whoever in your life could be potentially hurtful and harmful is exactly what you've needed to do. I think for some of you Virgos, for most of you that are probably watching this reading, unfortunately, this is resonating towards a person in your life who is probably harmful for you, somebody who is very toxic. I'm definitely getting the energy of somebody who was not very kind on a very communicative type of level. There's somebody here possibly who talked down to you, who was a great manipulator. Maybe you were connecting with somebody who just wasn't very kind as a person, and I think that it affected you a lot. You know, whether you were dealing with them romantically, whether this was your family, whether this was certain friends and friendships you've had in your life, you know, nobody should ever have to deal with a person that makes you feel like shit. And you put up with this individual for a long time. And you're going to be honing in on the strength here this month to really cut this person out, which is beautiful. So happy to see that for you. And do keep in mind, Virgo, if it's not a person we're referencing here, this can be anything. It could be a job. It could be a toxic living space, however it applies to you. But, you know, being around something that tears you down, it's never fun. So you realized it. It's like, I need to totally be rid of this. And with the Knight of Pentacles, I need to be consistent too. I can't get talked back in to being surrounded by a toxic person or a toxic environment. No matter how much this environment tries to call me back, I need to do everything I can within my power to stay away. And this definitely plays in a little bit to like a manipulative person. because a person who's manipulative will always try to find a way to rope you back in, right, Virgo? Call you back in. And this time you're saying, no, I need to stick to the schedule. I need to stick to what I said I was going to do. And I need to make sure that I continue to make a committed investment. So the Hierophant's starting to make a little bit more sense here this month. It's like, I'm going to make sure I make a commitment to myself to do what I need to do in order for my happiness to shine and for myself to thrive. So you're making sure that you do not do anything outside of what you're setting yourself out to do. So if that means avoiding somebody, you're sticking to it. If that means going harder at work, you're going to go harder at work. If that means you set a workout schedule, you're going to make sure you stay on that schedule. It's like, I'm going to do whatever I need to do for my happiness, and I'm going to make sure I do not stray away from what I'm setting myself out to do. Okay? So that's what seems to be the theme here so far for your reading. Now let's go ahead and have a look here and see what's going to be coming in here for you potentially. So what is going to be potentially coming in here for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout November 2022. What's potentially coming in here for the Virgo? All right, let's go ahead and see. We have here the Justice card. Very nice. Not a bad card here at all. We also have the Queen of Swords. And then lastly for you, we have the Page of Cups. Hello, hello. All right, let's go ahead and uncover this. Now, starting out here with the Justice card to the Queen of Swords. For Virgos that are more than likely not open or interested in love at this time, you're probably going to find that you're going to end up attracting a lot of people, or lots of people are going to end up being pretty attracted to you. Naturally, when we don't want something is when that thing suddenly wants us. You know, it's that energy of, for the fact that you don't want it, or for the fact that you're something that other people can't have, you become all the more desirable. So just throwing that out there for the Virgos that aren't really interested in love and romance or interested in dating and things of that nature, people are going to see you as very desirable and they're going to want you, Virgo, but you might not be paying them any mind. Regardless, though, Page of Cups showing up here too could represent lovers, could represent love interests, or people who want to get to know you. So you could expect that here in November 2022. You know, if you're totally not in a space right now where you're interested in any kind of dating or any kind of love and romance, you might find that suitors are very interested in you because you are a desire that they cannot have. Now, either way, Justice card is the energy of balance. So what's coming in here for you is balance. I feel like you're choosing to kind of swear off whatever you feel initially created a disruption of balance in your life. So Virgo, if you were dealing with a rough love-related situation that you ended up needing to walk away from in November, then that means you're swearing off relationships. I don't want to deal with love in November. I want to focus on something else, like my career. If you walked away from a harsh working environment in November, maybe this is going to be a 1-month hiatus where you take time off and you do a little bit more of exploration within yourself and your own life. I can look for a job next month. Let me just get by this month and actually have some time off away from work. If you needed to walk away from a bad living experience with somebody, maybe it's time to move back in with the parents, or maybe it's time to move out and just not live with anyone and live alone and have that experience for myself. So essentially the Justice card here says, whatever's previously disrupted your balance, you're making sure that you no longer are dealing with that type of situation. So like I mentioned previously with love, if love disrupted the balance in your life, you're going to remain single. Okay? So that's how that's going to go here for November. Now, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is very serious, right? So the Queen of Swords here says you're going to be very serious about this. You're very focused on your balance here in November. You're very focused on your state of being, and you don't want anything hindering or messing with your vibration. And like I mentioned to Page of Cups, it's like everything that you don't want this month is going to seem suddenly attracted to you. And like I mentioned, the reasoning behind that is because when people see something they can't have, they want it all the more. So essentially expect that, you know, I guess that's the way that I could put it here for you, Virgo. Expect that to happen. It's very natural, you know, especially in the love space. It's like if you're just wanting to be single and suddenly everybody wants you, that's why, because you are something they cannot have. So just expect it to happen, but you're definitely swearing off whatever you need to at this time because you want to focus up on something new. All right, moving along here forward into the rest of your reading, I want to take a look here at this section of the read and see if there are some things that you're not aware about here that you should be aware about in November 2022. So let's go ahead and have a look at that. So is there anything that Virgo here is not aware about that they should be aware about throughout November 2022? Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Is there any information here that Virgo is not aware about that they should be throughout November 2022? Having a look at the first card out, we have the Page of Wands. Moving along here into the next card, we have the Hermit. And lastly, for ya is going to be the Seven of Wands. Page of Wands usually represents interest, represents somebody who is interested in you. Hermit card usually represents going in recluse. Seven of Wands usually represents hesitancy or blocking kind of energies. So let's try to put this together to print a story. Virgo, what you might not be aware about is there could be somebody right now who is kind of doing everything in their power to not contact you, to not reach out to you. I feel like somebody here is purposely trying to stay away, but it's a very hard feeling for them to fight. This could be an ex for some of you. It doesn't have to be, but it could be an ex for some of you. Maybe they're in a space right now where it's very difficult for them to not reach out to you because they still have a lot of interest. So I kind of see somebody here avoiding you almost. And I'm not sure if you're entirely aware of it. Why is this individual avoiding Virgo? All right, what do we have? We have the Queen of Cups, and we have here the, what is this card? The Temperance, right? Is this the Temperance? Yes, this is the Temperance. Sorry, guys. Sometimes it's hard to see the lettering in this tarot deck. So we have here the Queen of Cups, and we have here the Temperance. Why this person's avoiding you is because of how much they care. Is it not reciprocated on Virgo's end? Page of Pentacles, Sun card. Oh. Okay, so let me just throw this out here for some Virgos. You could potentially have a friend that is invested in you romantically or has some sort of romantic feelings, and that might be why they're shying away from you here this month. So just throwing this out here for some Virgos. You might have already intuitively picked up on this, maybe you haven't. But if you've noticed that a friend in your life has been pretty dodgy lately, or they've been incredibly awkward around you, this might explain why. There could potentially be somebody here who is naturally a friend to you, who've never had a romantic establishment with them before. They might have caught feelings for you, and that's why it's very hard for them to be around you, because when they are around you, it's like they want to express how they feel emotionally, but they don't believe it's reciprocated on your end, because the way you view them, right, is a Page of Pentacles. A Page of Pentacles is not a King of Cups, a Queen of Cups, it's a Page of Pentacles. This is kinship, friendship, things of that nature. I don't even know if kinship is friendship, but either way, y'all get my point, right? So this is friendship, right? This is the energy of looking at somebody and like, oh, I love and care about them, but not in a romantic kind of way. They make you very happy and you have a happy friendship with them, but you're happy with the friendship that you have with them. That's kind of the main point, right? You're happy with the type of relationship you've already established with this person. And it feels to me for them, their feelings have elevated, So I think you could be dealing with somebody here who may be a friend to you that does have romantic feelings. So just throwing that out there for some Virgos. If you've noticed that anybody within your friendship space has kind of awkwardly not been around, or they've been avoiding you, or they've been weird around you, that could sum it up and explain as to why. So just throwing that out here for some of you Virgos, that might be what's happening. All right, so that message won't be for everybody, but if you needed to be aware of that to kind of make things make sense, there you go. Moving along forward though, let's see what you can expect throughout the rest of your November 2022 as a whole. So what can Virgos expect here, please? Throughout the rest of their November 2022, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus zodiacs. First card out is going to be the Two of Pentacles. Moving along to the next one, we have the Emperor. Then we also have here the Two of Swords. And lastly for you, we have the Judgment. So let's go ahead and dive on into that. So Two of Pentacles here to the Emperor card. It feels to me that what you can expect going throughout the rest of this month, Two of Pentacles is a card that represents the pros and the cons. I think there is a part of you here this month that's starting to see the pros of being without whatever you needed to walk away from this month. Let's say you needed to walk away from relationships, you're starting to experience how healthy it is to actually be single. If you needed to walk away from retail jobs or a stressful job and working environment you were dealing with, you're seeing how beneficial it is for you to finally have had a vacation after working in such stressful working environments. If you needed to walk away from toxic friends, you start to appreciate your alone time a heck of a lot more. You're really appreciating the opposite side of the coin enjoying and seeing the benefits. And with the Emperor card coming into play here for you, Emperor card is the card of control. So it represents that you have the control and the ability to do what you want with your life and with your desires. So it feels to me like you're kind of in a space right now where you're enjoying being on the opposite side of the coin. You know, if you walked out of a relationship, it's like, I'm really enjoying being single. You know, you walked away from toxic friends, I'm enjoying getting to know myself and hanging out with myself, so on and so forth. So you're enjoying the opposite side of the coin. And I think it's starting to give you this energy where you're wondering, do I really want to open myself up to the other side now that I previously flipped over? So let's say you're single now and you're enjoying it. Do I want to open myself up to love and relationships? You know, let's say you're out of a stressful working environment. Do I really want to open myself back up to another potential stressful working environment? I think that what you can expect here throughout the rest of November is you wondering if you ever really want to go back to what you walked away from. Maybe one day, but I think it's too soon to make that judgment. And I think you're going to realize that too, because Two of Swords here to the Judgment card, it's probably too soon for you to make that judgment. You know, you finally have just taken space from something that wasn't serving you anymore, so enjoy being on the other opposite side of the coin for now. You know, if you got out of a rough relationship, enjoy being single. If you got out of a rough working environment, enjoy being unemployed for a little bit, and then try to find a calmer working environment that, suits your needs. For those of you that were dealing with toxic friends, enjoy hanging out with yourself. It can be a heck of a fun fucking time for sure. So it definitely seems to me like you're wondering, am I ever going to go back, or am I ever going to open myself back up to these types of situations? Sure, you might, but right now it's too early to tell. Kind of just enjoy being away from whatever you need it to remove yourself from, okay? Would be my best advice here for the rest of your month. Now, having a look here at the overall outcome for the Virgo people, let's see what it's gonna be. What's gonna be the overall outcome here for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout November 2022. What's going to be the overall outcome here, please, for the zodiac sign of Virgo? And what do we have? We have here the Nine of Wands, and we have here the Six of Cups. Very nice. Nine of Wands here to the Six of Cups. It feels to me here right off the bat, seeing the Nine of Wands energy show up, it's not, sometimes the Nine of Wands energy could be not so positive, but I feel like it's positive in this specific situation because the Nine of Wands is saying, I'm choosing to restrict myself right now from whatever I need to. So this goes back to what I was mentioning with the Hierophant about how Virgo, this month you're going to make sure you stick to a schedule. You make sure that you continue to commit to do what you set out to do. So if that was ignoring love interests and, staying away from relationships, you're going to commit to staying away from relationships, right? So Nine of Wands, basically with that outcome, it's saying, I'm going to continue to commit to what I set out to do. I'm going to continue to avoid what I need to. Six of Cups. Six of Cups is a card of the past. I think that the Six of Cups here is representing that at the end of all this in November, you start to learn from the past you've experienced so that you can have better future experiences going forward. I feel like what's happening here is you're going to have a moment of analysis in November 2022 when you look back at the situation you just dealt with and you're seeing what you can learn from it so that going forward in the future, you can have better experiences. You know, if you were dealing with a toxic person in love, you're coming to realize it's not relationships that are problems. It's the people that I'm with that could potentially be problematic. It's not that relationships are inherently bad. It's all about the person you're with. It's not that working environments are bad. It's all about the job and the people that work there. So when you start to look at this and you start to have this deep analytical moment this month of observation, you're going to start to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to take a break right now from whatever it is I needed to take a break from. I'm going to make sure I stick to the schedule. If I need to stay away from something, I'm going to go ahead and keep up with that. But when I do open myself up, when I do become available again in the future to do whatever this is, I'm just going to make sure I do it right. When I'm ready to jump into a new job, I'm going to make sure the working environment's positive. When I jump into new love, I'm going to make sure the person is genuine and down to earth and good. I'm going to really pay attention to who that person is and how they show up. When it comes towards new friends, I'm going to be very mindful of the kind of people they are and how they treat me and how they treat others. I'm going to take a look at all of it within my awareness to make the best proper judgments going forward, provided that I can get to have better experiences in my future. So I think at the end of the day here, Virgo, this month, stick to your schedule. Swear off, avoid whatever you need to bring back more balance in your life. That's going to benefit the crap out of you, and I think you really should do it. But I think inevitably in your future, you're probably going to open back up to whatever you're avoiding now. And like you said it with the outcome here, just make sure you're mindful going forward of what you're going to be connecting with, and be really aware of the type of person or the type of situation you're getting into. Just be really aware of if it is a good thing or if it's not. Always use your discernment and your intuition now going forward in the future to make sure you're picking the healthiest and greatest situations. All right, Virgo, really good read. Don't really feel much negative stuff happening here for you. Going back to the first row that we pulled out here, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, it's like this month is going to be pretty much a month of enjoyment without something. And I think you're going to have a really fantastic time. And I think it's going to be a time to explore yourself more, to connect with yourself more deeply. I think you're going to enjoy this. All right. So you're looking at a pretty great positive month, and we'll see where this goes in the future. Okay. All right, Virgo, I love you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If it does resonate to you, please do let me know down in the comments down below. If you are new here, definitely consider subscribing. And with that being said, Virgo, enjoy your November, and I will see you all in the next video. Much love, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.